All right, we've got a bit of an interesting challenge here. We're trying to make the four most even teams possible. I guess for Garp, it doesn't matter where we put him. I'll put him blue for the Marines, I guess. But all right, now is when we actually start. Shanks cannot go on the same team as Garp because that is insane. I'm going to give Shanks red for red-haired Shanks. Get two powerhouses on the top. Okay, Luffy cannot go on the same team as any of those guys because that's also unfair. So I'll give Luffy, I don't know, I guess orange for like kind of the Straw Hat colors. Okay, Sabo's an interesting one. He's definitely not on the caliber of those three characters, so I'm not going to give him the last spot on his own team. I think he's a really high up second pick, though, so I'm going to give him to who I think is the weakest out of these three. And if it's Old Garp, I'll say probably Old Garp is the weakest. So I'll give Sabo to Garp. I think that's a pretty good pick. Yamato, I think, is a little bit weaker than Sabo, so maybe I screwed up there. I'm actually going to give Yamato their own team. I think this team could maybe be a team full of, like, decent top tiers, right? Like, Zoro and Yamato together could maybe put up a fight against Luffy, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give Zoro green team as well. I think it just fits. Maybe we'll stack this team with a bunch of, like, semi-top tiers. Okay, now we're in trouble. Because any team I give this to is ridiculously overpowered. All right, I guess the only squad that doesn't have, like, a Yonko tier character is green. So all my strategy that I was just talking about is out the window now. I'm going to give Odin to... You know, let's keep Luffy and Shanks blank for now. I want to see what we can do with those two to match these two teams. I think making two teams first is probably easier. I'll give him to the blue team. I think these teams are about even right now. All right, here's where we get kind of tough. Which team needs another Yonko level character? I'm gonna say, you know what? Let's complete a team here and then try and match the other teams with a complete team. I'm gonna give it to the blue team. Okay, so you have like two Yonko tier and like two high up Yonko Commander 1 tier on the blue team. NL, I think giving him to green team means they're way too weak. I'm gonna give him to Shanks though because I think Shanks is the strongest person on this filter so far. Let's go. We got to save a Yonko tier for this spot right here. Let's give Kid to Luffy. I think that's fair. Okay, there's our other Yonko tier. So let's complete this team. I actually think those two teams are pretty even. Robin is by far the weakest character we've had on this filter so far. But I am going to give her to... this is tough. I'm going to give her to Shanks. Because like I said, Shanks is the strongest. And hopefully we can get a very strong character to pair with Shanks. I'm talking even stronger than Kizaru. So let's give Kizaru to Luffy here. Two more characters. Bang. That's what I was talking about. NL and Robin are, compared to the rest of the other characters, very weak on this list, so let's balance it out with Roger. I think that's perfect. And then we got Boa. I do think Luffy's team is a little weak compared to the other ones, but let me know which of these teams wins and how equal I got it.